Standedge Tunnel.
Frost, you can't see it.
Can't see the frost.
We're
at the Diggle end of the Standedge Tunnel.
And when you go from the Diggle end, you're scheduled to go through, I think it's at 1:30.
Yeah.
But we got a phone call last night saying, did you want to go through in the morning instead, because there's no one coming the other way. So we said, yes, please, which meant we put our fire out last night, because obviously you're not allowed a fire going through, and we thought, you know, probably best if it just died down overnight. Then it froze outside.
Totally froze.
So
really cold this morning.
We're so cold.
Did we turn off the gas, by the way?
Oh, shite. No, but we can still
we'll remember to do that. Yeah, you have to turn off all sources of ignition, and you have to open up all your windows and turn on all your lights, and generally speaking, just prepare.
And
Make sure that our tunnel light is working. Things like that.
We haven't done that yet. When you go through the Standedge Tunnel, you don't go through on your own. You have, I think they're volunteers. They come along and they take you through. So, and it takes, I think, about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Up there it says 2 hours.
Yeah. Me and George are going to walk over the top, just because George isn't the best in tunnels. I'm not the best in tunnels. And I won't relax if I'm worried about George, because he'll be shaking.
Yeah.
So
I'm the best in tunnels.
Michael's the best. And he'll have someone with him, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And assuming we make it through the tunnel and we get to the other side, we will reach our 20th silver propeller location.
Yeah, so if I'm not trapped and asphyxiated, or burned to death, or in some other way killed, Joe will be standing at the other end going, I wonder when this is going to happen. When are we going to hit our 20th?
I'll be like, damn it, we won't get our silver propeller now. So if I'm not there, you'll have to take the selfie as you come through.
And this is assuming the GoPro works for the entire time.
But I don't think we'll have any other footage. Like, it'll be dark in there, so our cameras aren't good enough. And I think Michael just wants to enjoy it, don't you? Rather than think about filming. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive tour of the Standedge Tunnel.
It's 3 miles long.
So I've got a long walk.
And it'll be, I won't be aiming for some point of light. I will be aiming for not hitting the walls. Yeah, so eventually that gate opens. There's one other boat which may go in front of us because it has made this trip 3 times, so it knows it won't hit anything. Okay. We have to get measured, and we have the issue of our solar panels. If they impinge, then I might have to disconnect them really quickly.
So that'll be fun.
That'll be loads of fun.
But it's worth doing. Like, now I'm here, there's no way I want to turn back.
No. It's through there or bust, basically. I'm either going to get stuck in the tunnel or I'm going to make it through the tunnel. Who
needs solar in winter anyway?
Exactly.
All right, let's turn the gas off, check the lights, and wait for the man or the woman. And they're off, underground for the next 2 or so hours, while George and I try and find our route across the top.
These first few hundred meters of the tunnel are actually part of an extension that was added when the canal was reopened in 2001. It feels pretty ominous heading underground. The tunnel roof is just barely higher than the boat, so it's difficult to see what lies ahead, even with our chaperone's big work lamp lighting the way. The Standedge Tunnel is 5,200 meters long, and it's the longest, highest, and deepest canal tunnel in Britain. It takes the Huddersfield Narrow Canal under the Pennines and stretches from Diggle in Saddleworth to Marsdon. The tunnel was constructed without a towpath, so historically boats needed to be legged through while the horses were led over the top. It would take about 4 hours for a good crew to leg a boat from one end to the other. Parts of the tunnel are brick-lined, alternating with larger sections that were left as exposed rock where the remaining stone was strong enough to support itself. There are actually 4 Standedge tunnels, all running parallel to each other. The Canal Tunnel was the first to open in 1811, and in the decades that followed, 3 different rail tunnels were authorized and cut through the Pennines. The canal tunnel is now the lowest of them all and acts as a sump that drains the railway tunnels, a fact I learned several times to my great discomfort.
Meanwhile, George and I walk over the top of the tunnel, and I honestly think we got the better deal. It was a gorgeous walk in the sunshine. We were treated to some really wonderful views across the Pennines, which made the climb worthwhile. We also got to see the reservoirs that feed the canal and some of the ventilation shafts from the tunnel poking up out of the hills. We take a bit of a wrong turn towards the end of the walk, and so it takes just over 2 hours. George and I arrive at the tunnel entrance in Marsdon just 10 minutes before Michael emerges with the boat.
Here we go.
There's the tunnel that Michael just came through.
End of the Standedge Tunnel,
There's the hill I just walked over.
right up there. 20th Silver Pillar.
Woo!
Well done.
Well done.
Okay.
After a very brief celebration, we decide to get moving again.
This is the Standedge Tunnel Visitor Center, which is actually the Silver Propeller location. If you're not sure what the Silver Propeller Challenge is, we've made a couple of videos about it, and we'll leave a link to them in the description below this video. The summit pound of the Huddersfield Narrow Canal is actually the highest point in the entire canal system, at 179 meters above sea level.
This lock marks the end of the summit level and the beginning of the long descent to Huddersfield. Just 42 locks to go. When we get to the next lock, we discover that the pound below it is empty, and so we'll need to send some water down to refill it. We have heard that the Huddersfield Narrow Canal suffers from water shortages, but having just seen how full the reservoirs are at the moment, we think this particular shortage is down to the leaking, poorly maintained gates in the next lock.
Our decade out-of-date Nicholson's Guide has told us there are some visitor moorings several locks down, so we set out to find them. Hopefully one final push and we'll have a place to rest for the night.
I don't know where to start. We made it.
To begin at the beginning, we left Diggle 3 days ago.
Feels like it. How was the tunnel?
The tunnel was great. I would not recommend it for anybody with any form of claustrophobia. And I would recommend that if you go through it, you put on your waterproofs. I did not put on my waterproofs. I had to turn on the bilge pump when we got out of the thing because that much water made it into the boat. The middle is fine. If you're standing in the middle, no water. But on either end, just unstoppable amounts of water. There's 4 places within the tunnel where you actually have to stop to let the chaperone off so that they can phone tunnel control and just let them know
like
which section of the tunnel you're in. Yeah. So I had to pull forward till we, the people standing there, were in the middle so he could step off. Then I had to back up through the faucet. Then I had to go forward through the faucet, then through the other faucet. So, you know, I'm just in there with my neck hunched up like this going, please don't let any more of this through. And the hard hat is smaller than my head. So for the most part, it doesn't stop any water getting through. It did stop several rocks getting through. So that was a good thing.
You hit your head.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. The number of scrapings. It's just like, oh, that's not good. I mean, the tunnel itself is fascinating. It's very narrow. It's very short. You spend the majority, low.
Not short because it's the longest tunnel.
Yeah. You're right. Good point. You spend the majority of the time either ducking or sitting down so you can see. Steering is fairly easy. Just try and keep the far mushroom cap kind of in the middle of the channel. The actual driving isn't that bad, although the tunnel does have quite a few sort of bends and kinks in it. And there's lots of places where repair work has been put in, various generations of repair work. And that repair work has made it so that it's considerably narrower in places. So, like, things will suddenly jut out from one side or the other. So lots of bangs, lots of scrapes. We definitely widened parts of the tunnel. Imperceptibly, possibly. But those parts are blue now, so if you go looking for them, they're in there. Yeah, so the first couple hundred feet of the tunnel are a new bore that was put in when the tunnel was reopened. The tunnel used to come out, they don't know exactly where, but the tunnel originally went under the railway line, turned in an underground turning point, went back under the railway line, and came out roughly between the 2 locks, nearish the ice cream point. But the remnants of the tunnel are still there, but the actual exit point and entry point were cut off. So they did a new bore in, and that new bore is like new line tunnel. Then it reaches the point where it joins the original tunnel, and all of a sudden it goes to like old brick lining and then raw rock and stone cutting. And then there's lots of different places where various repairs have been done over the generations. You'll pass through where an air shaft comes down from one of the old railway tunnels that are no longer in use. And then there is a join with the new railway tunnel, which you can hear the train going through right beside you.
That must be really weird.
And when it goes through, like, wind picks up and everything sort of shakes a little bit. Yeah, it was a really good trip. Totally worth it. Totally cool that they do it essentially for free. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, we pay our license fee and it's covered.
Yeah.
And you're in there, well, they say 2 hours, but you were longer.
Yeah, they said that the shortest people tend to be able to make it through is about an hour and 45 minutes. So the realistic time is normally about 2 hours. In our case, we made it. So there's 4 points at which you stop. He jumps off and he makes a call into tunnel control. And the first 3 went fine, other than getting absolutely soaking wet. And then, yeah, we got to the 4th point at which he had to step off. And he was informed on that phone call that the trip boat was coming into the end of the tunnel.
So it's just like an in and out trip.
Yeah, and they were doing that. There's some sort of Halloween thing going on, so they've got like skeletons in the tunnel, and so they pull forward, and then they turn off all the lights, and they sort of spook the kids, and then they back up again. So he was just like, right, you may as well just shut off your engine. We're going to be here for a little while. And so we sat there for 30 minutes.
The fact that you stopped meant that I had time to get to the end before you did.
Yeah.
Because if Like the walk over the top was just stunning and I really enjoyed it. But there's no signposts going the other way, the signposts, but not going this way.
Okay.
But I think towards the end I might have gone a little bit wrong and gone slightly longer way around. So
briefly, Jojo was a wrong one.
Yeah. So it took me about 2 hours. So if you hadn't had that stop, you'd have been there before me.
Yeah. Eventually the light shut off, then the light turned on, and then he was like, right, just get going. The trip boat's much faster than you, so by the time you'll arrive, you'll be popping out and you won't even be there.
Because the trip boat's really low and narrow. And then Michael emerged and we were victorious because that meant we got our silver propeller, 20th location.
20th location, silver propeller.
But there was no fanfare, it was a little bit...
Yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown. Like I came out and I
we
was
thought
like,
the crowds would be there.
I expect there will be balloons, balloon animals, possibly Boris Johnson.
But we're not going to stop collecting them there. 20 is the magic number to get yourself a propeller, and that's what we've got. But we're gonna carry on collecting them. And then we decided to come down 10 locks because, we were supposed to go through in the afternoon, but they pulled us forward to go through in the morning, which just meant we had the afternoon free. So we decided to come down 10 locks because on the information page it says there's moorings below lock 32. There's not moorings below lock 32. No. We're on the lock landing. We tried all the way along to the next lock and it's just concrete towpath and flagstones. So
there's no way to put
you can't get a pin in.
No way to attach
and if you can get a pin in, you're like a foot away from the end, the towpath, because it's all silted up.
But there were some cheeky kids who were like...
They were helpful.
They were very helpful. They were just... After you left, I'm walking along with them. Well, I wasn't walking along. I was moving the boat. They were walking along and they're like, do you think we're going to get paid?
No.
Sorry, chap. No.
I didn't even think about it.
You jumped in and started rotating the thing because you were like, can I help? Yeah, you can help. Can we get paid? No.
And then there was a family that are like, they do like narrowboat holidays, and they were like, oh, we wish we had our windlass. And I was like, I can lend you a windlass. That's not a problem. Why is that man naked?
What? He's not actually naked. He has a pair of Speedos on. I believe he's preparing to swim or swimming.
Okay, he's put a swim hat on, so I'm pretty sure the reservoir is no swimming as well.
I don't know, he's got a swim hat and Speedos. Well, he's not naked. Should we turn the camera on?
I'm frozen.
I don't think we should turn the camera on.
I am frozen. And
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, it's too dark.
It's just somebody having a swim.
You can't make them out. It's too dark. You won't be able to see anyway.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Put the camera down. Just because there's a guy. At least he's not actually butt naked.
Yeah.
Because when you said that, like, he's right behind this thing for me, so like
the chimney.
The chimney's in my path, so she's like, why is there a naked man up there? What hell?
Oh, it's been a really good day. I totally recommend walking over the Standedge Tunnel.
Yeah, and this is the thing. The Standedge Tunnel, whether you go through it or you go above it, it's great. It's really cool. It's totally worth the trip. In fact, I'd say it's definitely one of the highlights of...
I love this whole canal. Like, yeah. the locks are bitchy.
It is not fun in terms of the locks.
Yeah, but
the views are stunning.
And the towns we've been through, like Upper Mill was so nice. And
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're in hills now, and it's just, you can see a little one behind us.
Yeah. Today has definitely been a visual highlight. The fascination of the inside of the tunnel, from seeing where old drilling was done and all that sort of stuff, to
and the history
to these rolling green hills and this lovely valley. It is really worth the trip, preferably in warmer weather.
In warmer weather, when you're not trying to beat winter stoppages, because we've got now 6 days. We've only got 31 looks left to do, unless we try and do the Calder and Hebble as well. But that's currently flooded, so we might not be able to do it. Another busy week, and then we can sleep for
days.
All right.
I saw a sign that said winter mornings today, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, we'll take two.
We'll take that one right there.
Let's just stop. All right, I need to get the fire on, and I need to get food.
Right. Do we need to?
Oh, yeah.
So, that's us. Tunneled out. Tunnel vision.
Why is there a naked woman up there?
What?
Are they contemplating joining them?
No. I think they're crazy.
I'm wondering what they're doing.
I know.
Yeah, that's a little bit on the crazy side. Stop calling people naked when they're wearing this one.
Is that a naked woman? Where?
So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment down below, hit subscribe if you want to hear more from us, and of course click that bell if you want to get notifications.
Well done.
George!
So this morning we had to get up and diggle it just a little bit.
You're funny. So thank you very much for watching. If
Give
you
us a thumbs up.
So thanks very much for watching.
Give us a thumbs up.
Comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already.
And cling the
bell.
Cling the bell?
Just cling onto it.
Let's try that again. So,
thanks very much for watching.
comment down below. What?
No. I swear.
I lost it.
You either
The
get
plot's
it.
gone. Let's try it again.
You either get it right first time or you get it right like 10th
I get it
time.
right? I know. Okay.
Oh, you just do it. I'll just smile.
So thanks for watching. Comment down below. Okay. No, hold on. All right. I got it. Yeah.
Michael.
It's,
Yeah,
almost snow-capped.
Well, they're brown from autumn, and
Yeah.
there's some sheep chilling up in the frost up there.
There's some sheep chilling up.
Sheep.
Chilling up in the frost, yes. Yeah, if you look that way and you happen to glance at some sheep, you can think snow-capped mountains. Very briefly, very small snow-capped mountains.
Sheep-capped mountains.
Yeah, I'm not saying the mountains are small. I'm saying that the sheep are small. Anyway. 179 meters above sea level. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Get makeup facts.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Ooh.